For Honor is really one of those games I wouldn't ever say is lacking in any game modes. If anything, it's got the most unique modes in any fighting game I've ever seen. When you have this many, there's obviously going to be favorites and ones that are neglected, and kind of the middle child of the game modes. In the loved modes, we have the absolute titans that are Duels, Brawls, and Dominion. These modes see basically the most players, and most balanced updates are designed for these game modes in particular. In the neglected slot, we have Elimination, Skirmish, and Tribute, and, well, Ranked. Most of the times, these modes are just neglected for two reasons. Lack of players and lack of XP. And normally, the lack of XP can result in the lack of players. Because in reality, why would you play Deathmatch or Tribute when you can play Dominion for faster queue times, faster games, and more profitable rewards at the end of it? I myself only play game modes that will benefit me. While I do have fun no matter what I'm playing, I do kind of see it as a waste of time if I'm not getting any rewards. So, well, where does this put Breach? Breach is the longest mode in the game in terms of, well, playtime. Games can last a staggering 20 minutes, maybe more if, it's 2-4 stacks going against each other. And obviously the rewards for Breach are also the biggest in the game. There are reasons why when a new hero comes out, people will 4-stack against AI for the free levels in Breach. Breach released with For Honor's biggest expansion to date, Marching Fire, on October 18th, 2018. With the launch of the Breach came the best For Honor cinematic to date and the Wulin. This video is going to really look at the bad parts of Breach and the good parts of it. We're going to start with the bad and end with the good. I left timestamps for each topic if you only want to watch one or the other. Breach actually takes some brainpower. See, in Dominion your rules are simple. Take points, kill players, kill minion lane. But the amount of things that you need to do in Breach are very more crucial and more important and demanding than it is to play Dominion. You need to take Archer points, boost the ram movement, clear pikemen, rotate buffs, capture and rotate healing point, fight for shield banner, pull defend cauldron, fight for guardian, attack defend commander. You get the point. There's no time where you're standing and doing nothing where you're actually being helpful. Something is always going on and it is your job to prevent it from happening or do it yourself. This can stem to the first reason why people just hate Breach. The amount of effort you need to put into this mode. If there's something I know For Honor players are, it's lazy, and that is me included. If you watch any of my videos, you see a great example of hyper editing at the start of the video, and at the end it is absolutely fucking barren. So when you ask a For Honor player to commit 20 plus minutes to a game mode that constant mechanics that need to be played, there's only one outcome they choose. Thank you. Oh. Crazy.
Hey, we go.
I like where your head's at. Oh, there goes another one.
Fence back.
Can't wait.
Yeah, Nosferatu came back.
Yeah, and he's like, okay. Yeah, there he goes.
And there you go.
There goes everybody. Breach, as I said over and over again, is a long-term commitment in terms of For Honor's game modes. Let me show you how it works. If anyone leaves the game before the first gate is broken, no biggie, no problemo. Someone can replace the loser who just rage quit. But once that first gate is breached, that's it. Anyone who leaves the game now has basically doomed their team to a slow and painful loss if they don't leave themselves. 90% of the time, the moment someone leaves a game of Breach, everyone else falls like dominoes. They will all start leaving with them. Newton's law, right? Every reaction has a reaction. There is a whole ass other mode if I wanted to play, if I wanted to fight AI. But I didn't queue for PvP just to turn into PvAI halfway through the game. And there's many pinnacle points where people just decide to rage quit. Normally after a key pinnacle moment, aka shield banner or guardian being taken. I have no problem with shield banner, but don't get me wrong, guardian buff is a little overtuned and I won't lie. If For Honor really wants to see Breach not have these problems, they need to add some sort of surrender button. So it gives the enemies a chance to just end the game early so they don't have to either leave or go through such a painful loss. Let's get back to Guardian Buff. Guardian Buff does the following. Grants a 125 HP shield, grants infinite stamina, and gives the players the buff the ability to instant kill pikemen. I have no problems with the infinite stamina or the buff to pikemen, but the shield is where I think buff gets overtuned. Fighting a person with a Guardian Buff, shields and all, there is a 90% chance that the person with the Guardian Buff will win the fight because he can make more mistakes than you. Basically, anyone with a Guardian buff, you have to basically kill twice. So once a full team gets the buff, it's no surprise people just don't want to play the game anymore. My advice to change around the Guardian buff is to have it spawn more frequently and remove the shield buff entirely. Fighting a person who doesn't need to conserve stamina is already a good enough buff, they don't need to have double the health bar. To continue on why people don't really like Breach, it's the feeling of repetitiveness. We have not seen a significant update to Breach or even a new map since fucking 2019. It's almost been 5 years without a new Breach map. This makes the game mode feel just neglected, to say the least, and very repetitive. The last reason why people really hate Breach is the meta surrounding it. Now don't get me wrong, there are parts of the meta I love. For example, Rising Dawn seeing a lot more use because it's not overshadowed by Bastion, Last Stand, and Vengeful Barrier. Rising Dawn revives allies up to 75% health instead of 50. Oh, look at all that health I have. Lovely. And I feel like I can sometimes go past Kidney Stones on the toilet and come back and my Breach timer will still not be done. So being revived way earlier with way more health feels just super rewarding and just honestly fucking orgasmic. But the problem isn't the perks in the game modes. No. It's the heroes. If you ask any of the For Honor community, what is the most hated hero in the entire community? 90% of you would say Hitakiri. Now if I asked you, what do you think are the two most meta characters in Breach? Yep, Hitakiri and Warmonger. Both problematic because Breach suffers from the unbalanced state that is hero stacking. If you're on attack and you have 2 Warmongers or 2 Hitakiris or even just 4 stacking both characters, your goal isn't to keep the RAM as healthy as possible. No. It's to just get to the commander. If you're on defense and there's multiple Hitas or Warmongers or even worse, 2 of each, the game is basically over unless you could stop them from breaching that last wall. Your goal as a Warmonger or Hitakiri is literally walk up to commander, use feats, the end. Warmonger will corrupt the commander, making him take massive damage for an instant in the radius, and Hitakiri will chunk a load of the commander's health. If your commander is hit by corruption, you now have to spectate the entire team beating his fucking ass. Which at that point you just lose. If both Warmongers are rotating corruption feats, that means first and fourth, there is a total of 32 seconds that you cannot help your commander. For Hitakiri, you just walk towards him and hit the 4 button on your keyboard or the, I don't know, the arrow key on your controller. I don't play controller.
Can you hear me?
I'll just end the game.
Oh, okay.
Commander has a total of 950 health. Hito's 4th feat does 200. Stack 4 of them, and you're looking at a total of 800 damage in 1.7 seconds. The point I'm trying to make is that while you have to play with your mind with other heroes, if you're stacking these heroes, you can smooth their brain out, and boom, free wins. Thankfully, we can now move on to the good, and if you stuck around this long, I love you guys. To be completely honest with you, Breach is my favorite game mode the game actually has. I know I play a lot of Dominion, but Breach is just so much fun. The only problem is that I really just hate the rage quitting problem. When people don't rage quit Breach, it is the most fun I ever have in For Honor. There are literal strategies you can make to get a better chance of winning that Dominion just does not offer. Keeping track of the clock to know when things like Banner or Guardian are spawning. Banner should be up in like, what, 30 seconds?
I have no idea.
Always having something to do on the map. In Dominion, you literally have one objective. Go to a point, take a point. But when you're on Breach, you are forced to do everything. There is so much variety in Breach's gameplay. Sure, you can go and defend Archer Point, but there's just more to do than just sitting there and waiting. Having little side objectives that the game does not tell you to do is just great. It breaks up the monotony of just sitting there and doing nothing like other game modes give you. Added mechanics help strengthen your gameplay that you yourself have to go and seek out. I can never tell.
I have no idea. You could not.
Breach is the closest we have to an open world type For Honor game mode. The absolute scale of Breach is amazing. Now, if you've ever played Mount & Blade Bannerlord, you know the most fun part of that game is the Siege and Castles part. A large fight where the large-scale portion with large battles. The background has something consistently going on in For Honor's Breach modes. Catapults, ships, arrows. There's just something going on all the time and it's great atmosphere. To sum up why I just love Breach so much, it's that you have to learn how the game mode works to fundamentally play it. If you guys ever want me to make some sort of, dummies guide to play Breach, I'd happily do so. Like always, if you made it this far, I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a great day.